This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Drafting with Big Nass. I'm your host, Big Nass. And let's take a look what we got here. Sudden Disappearance is a decent finisher. Never actually played with it, but it's not really a card I want to first pick, especially given that there are 2 Lords in this pack. The whole cycle of Lords is pretty sweet. And to be honest, I'm not sure which one I like more, Drogskull Captain or Stromkirk Captain. I like both Blue-White and Black-Red a lot. So this is actually kind of a tough choice. Just take a look at the rest of the cards in the pack. Stormbound Geist is pretty good, as is Rack with Madness. So I think, like, the uncommons aside, the next 2 best cards in the pack are Stormbound Geist and Loyal Cathar. So based on that, I'm leaning more towards the Stromkirk Captain, just so, like, I feel like that'll set us up for a better pack too, since the only like good black or red card is like Rack with Madness, and a distant second is Black Cat. So I'm gonna actually grab the Stromkirk Captain, and hopefully the packs cooperate with us. Ooh, had to clear my throat there. All right, so here I'm a big fan of Death's Caress, but I mean there's no reason that we're like 100% committed to Black Red. I like Death's Crest more than Rack with Madness, just because like there's a lot of creatures in the format that have like big butts, and this thing doesn't actually kill them. Soul Caesar is a card that's fairly overrated. Well, it's not overrated by anyone who knows what's up, but I found drafting this set with just some of my friends, like a lot of my less experienced friends, really value this card like very highly, and it's really not that good. Like, it's fine. I'll play it if I manage to pick one up, but it's not a card I want to take early. Other good cards here are Niblis of the Mist, but again, we kind of want to just like pass along the white and blue cards, just given like what we passed pack 1. So here I'm going to take the Death's Caress, and I mean Death's Caress is also somewhat of a pet card of mine. I probably value this card higher than most other people, but I kind of want to stay on color here. Alright, so here we have another Rack with Madness. Again, I don't think Rack with Madness is that great. Like it always makes the deck, but I feel like there are some better cards here. Well, there's better card. Blood Feud I think is better than Rack with Madness, but Rack with Madness actually is better than the rest of the black and red cards in this pack. It's Chosen of Markov is not that great. Erdwall Ripper is also not that great. So I'm gonna grab the Blood Feud here, but at some point I'm gonna be wanting to pick up some vampires. All right, so Gravecrawler is a nice one. It's not a vampire, but it's I mean Black Red still picks up a fair amount of zombies, and we don't necessarily. I mean Stormkirk Captain is still fine by itself as just like a 2/2 for a striker. So. Plus, Gravecrawler is a rare, so, you know, it's worth picking up for, like, that extra, like, 1 tick or whatever. Definitely passing along some good white cards. I mean, if we picked that Drogskull Captain first instead, our deck probably would have been insane. But, I stand by my choice. Okay. So, Skurstag Flare is decent. Definitely like it more than Nearheath Stalker. Definitely more than Chosen of Markov. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that guy. Alright. That's a pretty late Undying Evil. Undying Evil is actually really good. I mean, obviously it's better when you have creatures that have Enter the Battlefield effects. But even when you don't, it's still a pretty good combat trick. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Another Blood Feud. I feel like we have enough expensive removal cards, and Forged Devil is actually, is a fairly decent man. I just don't really want to load up on like expensive like 6-drops, especially when we can pick up something decent that's cheap. So if I didn't already have a Blood Feud, I probably would take it here, but I think I would rather have a first Forged Devil over a second Blood Feud. Well, had I known I was going to get past another Forge Devil, I might have taken that Blood Feud, but too late to do anything about that, so I'll just go ahead and grab it. Okay, so this is our pack that came back. Sudden Disappearance. It's not that unreasonable that it tabled, but there's nothing in the pack that I really want, so I'm just going to rare draft here. Yeah, the Grip Tide is the best card in the pack here, but I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Sudden Disappearance so that we don't lose to it. And also because it's worth, like, I don't know, 0.1 of a tick. Hey, those add up. Alright, so again, I'm not a huge fan of Near Heat Stalker, and Rack with Madness is actually is decent, and the fact that we got one now 10th pick is a decent sign that red is open in this draft. So I'll go ahead and grab it. So Stormcard Captain is the only vampire we've picked up so far, but it shouldn't be too hard to pick up a bunch of them in packs 2 and 3. And here's one right here. Erdwell Ripper is not that great, but it's definitely better than these other cards. And if we're short on playables, we might have to play it. Alright, so here's really nothing. I'm going to take Clinging Miss. Doesn't really matter. Gruesome Discovery can be a good sideboard card. And I'll just go ahead and hide the rest of these. Alright, give me Curse of Death's Hold. Or Bloodline Keeper. Nothing too exciting. Probably going to slam down the Victim of Night here. Evil Twin is quite good, but I really, like, I've said this many times, I don't like splashing third color. And it's not like we picked up a bunch of Evolving Wilds to enable that. So I'd rather just take like just a card that is good anyway and doesn't require us to stretch our mana. Unburial Rites is another card we can consider splashing, but again it's not. I don't think it'll actually be that great in our deck. So we'll go ahead and take the Victim of Night. Okay, here I'm leaning towards Vampire Interloper. Unbreathing Horde is like unplayable like 95% of the time, and the other 5% of the time it's pretty awesome. But we don't have nearly enough zombies to even consider that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Interloper. It works well with our Stormcard Captain, and if we manage to pick up like any Rakish like this one, for instance, it gets a hell of a lot better. So here, I'm going to take the Rakish Air, although I think it's actually fairly close between the Rakish Air and the Walking Corpse. The more reason I give like Rakish Air the edge here is because both of the Stormcard Captain, but more because of the Vampire Interloper, because that's just a really crazy combo. So hopefully we get to wheel like a Walking Corpse, but I'll be happy to wheel Nightbird's Clutches. Alright, so here, the choice is between Ashmouth Hound and Walking Corpse. Ashmouth Hound is a much better card, but I kind of want to have some zombies in my deck for Gravecaller. So that's the reason I'm going to pick up the Walking Corpse here. But if were it not for the Gravecaller, I would just slam down that Ashmouth Hound. Okay. So we got two decent cards for our deck. I mean, I'm definitely leaning towards the Vampire Interloper. Abattoir Ghoul is definitely really good, but it's better in like kind of slower, like dirtly decks. And we're looking to be on the beatdown here. Also, like Vampire Interloper and Rakish Air is just such a good combo that a lot of decks struggle against that. So I'm gonna pick up the Vampire Interloper. But hey, if we wheel that Abattoir Ghoul, I'll be pretty happy. So our deck is looking pretty good so far. I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. Little short on creatures, but we still have another pack to go, and we have a lot of removal here. I accidentally hit that Rack with Madness, so we got some time here in between picks. All right, that's better. We don't have any humans yet for our Skurstag Flare, but He's still fine by himself. Like, 4 mana kill something is not the worst. Okay, so we have some options here. Could take Markov Patrician. That's actually what I'm more leaning towards. If I had like sack outlets, Trader's Blood would be a good one. But Markov Patrician and Stormcurt Captain they actually work very well together because the first strike gets around the drawback of the low toughness from the Patrician. So like a 4/2 first striker is actually pretty tough to deal with. It's unfortunate that Altar's Reap and Trader's Blood are in this pack because those are cards I wouldn't mind picking up. But I think in this case we have to take the Patrician. Don't want to get too cute. Okay, well, I've already mentioned the many benefits of having a Rakish Heirs and Vampire Interloper. So just add more pieces to our combo. I almost didn't see the Rakish Heir. My eye just kind of drifted towards the Ghoul Raiser, but then I'm not going to make that mistake. Rage Thor is also a decent card. I like it a lot actually, but for this deck, we definitely want to just slam down that Rakish Heir. All right. Kessig Wolf is fine. I'm not a huge fan of it. We still have another pack, so like. I don't see any reason. Like, even if we pick it up here, it's very unlikely we'll end up playing it. Like, we're already at 12 creatures. We're just looking for like some strict upgrades here, and it's not even better than any of our existing 3-drops. So here I'm just going to take Nightbird's Clutches, just in case we end up picking like a bunch of Blood Crazed Neonates and stuff like that, where we really get a big bonus from getting a creature through. Crossway Vampire also helps a lot with that strategy. But Nightbird's Clutches doesn't make the cut in my decks most of the time. I mean, I'm not like upset to play it, but it generally gets outclassed by other cards. So we're definitely not playing Manor Skeleton, so I'm just going to hate the Spidery Grasp here. It's more likely we'll end up losing to that than a Gnaw to the Bone, although I do really hate losing to Gnaw to the Bone. Alright, so Nightbird's Clutches. Definitely not going to play 2 of them. That's pretty late. And we're not going to pick up anything else here, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab it. Alright, here it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to take the instant. Alright, so we already have 20 playables. Deck's looking pretty good so far. Mostly just looking for upgrades to what we already have. Hopefully we can pick up some more 2-drops. I'll be really happy if I manage to open up a Bomb Black or Red rare. Like Curse of Deathhold. I really want to open that just because like I need more for my constructed deck. Oh no, Geist Honored Monk. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Well, now I really wish I went for the blue-white deck, because Geist Honored Monk is just crazy. But, what am I going to end up taking here? Probably a Blood Crazed Neonate. I feel like I have enough removal, so I don't think we need to pick up Tribute to Hunger. Yeah. Why, Geist Honored Monk? Why? Well, someone's going to be pretty happy to pick that up. But I unfortunately have to take a Blood Crazed Neonate over it. Yeah. Into the Maw of Hell is another consideration, but again, we have enough like expensive removal spells. I really just want like more beatdown. Okay. So we can take a second Blood Crazed Neonate or a Traitorous Blood. We still don't have any sack outlets for that Traitorous Blood, so it's not going to be amazing. But given how like, open red has been throughout this draft, we've got a fairly good chance of wheeling it. So I'm just going to pick up the Neonate here. We'll also, since we already have like 2 Neonates now, we're going to be like valuing cards like Cobble Wings higher than we normally will. But here, Crossway Vampire seems like an easy pick. Keeping in mind that Essence of the Wild is in this draft. Essence of the Wild is a card that is not usually very good, but sometimes is crazy. And I've definitely lost to it. Like, I've definitely had someone play an Essence of the Wild and then cast a Spider Spawn and get like a million 6/6s. So that's just bad news. Blazing Torch is another consideration, but now that we have two Neonates, I really want to max out on Crossway Vampires. Okay. Alright, so Heretic's Punishment. I think it was the last draft or the draft before that where I picked one of these up. Some people didn't think that it was that good, but I still stand by my evaluation of how good Heretic's Punishment is. It's one of those cards that you play it, you untap, and you almost always win the game. But in this particular deck, I don't know how good it's going to be just because of how our curve looks. So we're choosing between that and Skurstag Cultist. This is actually really tough. Like, Skurstag Cultist, like, there's a bunch of Trader's Bloods running around, but we kind of have to bank on wheeling one of them, and most of them that were going around were last pack. So, yeah, I think we're going to take the Heretic's Punishment just because, like, it's a card that I know is really good and doesn't really need any help to be good, whereas Skurstag Cultist is fine, but I really want to pick up, like, the maximum number of Trader's Bloods, and I think that ship has sailed. So here, I wish I'd known I was going to get past Pitchburn Devils, because Pitchburn Devils and Skurstag Cultist is a really good combo. We're definitely not looking for a third Nightbird's Clutches. Bump of the Night is not a card I usually like. So we're really deciding between Galvanic Juggernaut and Pitchburn Devils. For the sake of keeping our curve as low as possible, I'm probably going to take the Galvanic Juggernaut. I think this pick is actually kind of close. But Pitchburn Devils is generally better in like defensive decks, and we're definitely more on the aggro side. So I'm going to pick up the Juggernaut. Alright. We're not going to play any of these cards. So I think I'm just going to pick up an Ancient Grudge for the sideboard. And it also takes away an Ancient Grudge, so someone else can't just like shatter our Juggernaut. Yeah, people can have their Traveler's Amulets, that's fine. I'd rather just like take a sideboard card. Alright, a bunch of pretty mediocre cards here. I'm going to take a Night Revelers. It's a card we're most likely to play out of this pile of cards, but I don't think we're going to end up playing it at all. This is more junk. I'm just going to hate a Spider spawning, I guess. Now we can slam down a Cobbled Wings, which is probably going in the deck. And, oh wow, we wield the Traitorous Blood. I don't think I want two Cobbled Wings, so I'm going to grab that Traitor's Blood. Alright, this is all a bunch of unplayables, basically. I guess I'll take a Curse for the sideboard. Again, I don't want a second Cobbled Wing, so I'll just hate Outcasts. Alright, probably not going to play these Nightbird's Clutches. Not going to play Ancient Grudge. Everything else looks good. We can cut Erdwall Ripper, since he's not that great. Yeah, I guess we can take a Bump of the Night. Alright, so we still have to make a cut here. Huh, what do I cut? That's actually tough. Maybe I cut Undying Evil. That can't be right. Alright, well, I'll figure it out, and we'll see you guys in deck building in just a second here. Alright, so this is what we're ended up building. Our last cut was the Traitorous Blood. Yeah, like, that was actually really hard to figure that out. I think it was either going to be a Traitor's Blood or a Forge Devil. I might actually end up doing a lot of sideboarding with this deck, just depending on what our opponent's deck looks like. But I think this configuration is going to be best against the widest range of decks. I'm going to side in the Trader's Blood against decks that have like a lot of like beefy creatures. Nightbird's Clutches against like I'm not even sure what. I guess I'll just have to feel my way through it. But like we have a lot of relevant sideboard cards like Bump of the Night. We might side that in. We might side in Night Revelers. We might side in Erdwall Ripper. We might side in Clutches, Ancient Grudge, Trader's Blood. Like we have a lot of options for modifying our deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and submit this. We got 9 mountains, 8 swamps. We want a good amount of mana of both colors, because like we want to be able to play stuff like Grave Color and Vampire Interloper early, leaning more towards the mountains just so we can play those crossway vampires. So I'm liking how it looks, and we'll see you guys in game 1. Peace.